As exciting as that video was, 3 days after telling my parents we were pregnant, I had a miscarriage, which was absolutely devastating, especially since Alex and I had been trying for 6 months. We wanted to wait, and then once we found out about the fact that I had MS, you know, things change in perspective, and you're like, you know what? We could go on and never have a baby or whatever. But I decided to actually figure out how do you get pregnant? How do you really get pregnant? I mean, it's not like in high school when, you know, people would just get pregnant. Like, how do people get pregnant so easily? I spent my entire 20s trying not to get pregnant. And then finally, when I'm ready to get pregnant, I don't get pregnant. What the heck? So I was like, there has to be a science to this. And guess what? There is. So I'm going to tell you what tools I used to get pregnant. Okay, so this app is called Period Diary. So what it basically does, which other period trackers do, is they take your whole cycle and then divide it in half. Okay, starting from the first day of your period as 1. So 32. No, let's do. So 33 divided by 2 is, I know I'm so bad, I should be doing this in my head. It's about 16 days, all right? So that means that my ovulation day and week is day 16 or day 17 and 2 days before that and 2 days after that, right? So that would be 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Okay, so that's 5 days of being supposedly fertile, okay? So I used that for the first 3 months, and then I went to my doctor, she told me the same thing, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm infertile. I'm actually infertile. This is not happening to me. So I bought this book called Taking Charge of Your Fertility: The Definitive Guide to Natural Birth Control, Pregnancy Achievement, and Reproductive Health. And this book, let me tell you, I felt so duped as a woman that I didn't know half of the data in here. Do you know there's 3 different ways that you can track how to get pregnant and know your exact ovulation day? Your body is its own pregnancy test. You don't even need a pregnancy test. That's how accurate your body is, and it can tell you what you have if you note it down, okay? So it does take work, but if you want to have a baby and it means that much to you, then you got to do it. Or if you don't want to have a baby, this gives you exactly what you need. So did you know that you have one day, a few hours to actually get pregnant, okay? One day out of however long your cycle is. I know it sounds crazy, but it's the truth. So I quote Toni Weschler, okay? And she says, the 3 primary fertility signs virtually all ovulating women produce are waking temperature, cervical fluid, and cervical position, okay? Now, I'm gonna go more into detail on number 1. On number 2 and number 3, you can kind of figure that out on your own, but if you're still confused, read this book, because I don't have to go over the gory details. So you see how there's this chart here? Here's a chart, okay? There's temperature here, and then all of a sudden it jumps up, and there's temperature here, okay? Well, what does that mean? Well, between here and here, you better have made a baby, because once it goes this direction, you're done. You're not gonna get pregnant up here, and you're not gonna get pregnant over here. So you gotta get pregnant right here in the middle, okay? I'm just giving you a brief history, how important your temperature is, because this is the money that is going to be able to recognize, okay, where is it that I'm really ovulating, okay? So this is how it goes. Oh, and you see how the temperature drops back again? That's indication that your period's gonna start that day, okay? So this is what your cycle looks like. Cold temperature, cold temperature, cold temperature, hot temperature, because it's cooking a baby, right? And then it drops. But if your temperature continue to go hot and hot and hot and hot for 10 days, mama, you pregnant, okay? So you don't even need a pregnancy test. Okay, so there's this awesome app that coincides directly with this book, and I believe it's either free or it's $1.99 or something, I don't remember, but girl, it's worth it if you're trying to get pregnant, okay? So basically, it charts your whole cycle, right? On this thing, it's loading, okay? So, you see, it's like a chart, right? And you literally track everything on here that in this book they want you to track, okay? So once I did this for 2 months, I found out that actually my ovulation day is number 22, day 22, which means that every single time I use that pregnancy tracker app or the other tracker app or listen to my doctor, I would have missed my ovulation period, and I would have been sitting here depressed being like, oh my god, I'm infertile, I'm never gonna get pregnant, oh my god. And it's not the case, because every body is different. So you have to track your temperature, you have to do all this stuff if you want to go above and beyond, unless you just happen to be really lucky and then you just can get pregnant, like if someone blows on you, okay? So, and it also goes over why some people get pregnant easier than others. And if you're sitting here being like, well, I don't have a regular period, well, this book also like debugs how to get you back on a regular period and how you can still be able to track your ovulation day, because believe it or not, there's still a pattern. Even though you're irregular and you don't really know when your period's gonna come, there's still a pattern, but you're not tracking it, so you don't know. And you think that you're regular when you might not even be. This was the first tool, okay? So now we went over how I got pregnant, but now how do I keep the baby in?